The truck stop lay barren under the unforgiving gloom of the overcast sky. Hugh, weathered and worn, stands at the edge of the parking lot, his cardboard sign bearing the desperate plea, "Need hope," barely legible in the faded light. Ignored by the passing drivers, he shivers in the cold, feeling the chill seep into his bones. As a police cruiser rolls past, indifferent to Hugh's plight, he lowers his sign with a heavy heart. Yet, a familiar figure catches his eye. Donnie, striding toward him with a warm smile. "Hey Hugh, how's it going?" Donnie's voice carries across the empty space, a welcome reprieve from the silence. Hugh turns too, a grin spreading across his weathered face. "Donnie!" he exclaims. "It's been one of those days, you know. No one seems to have an ounce of kindness to spare. Tough break, man." "Yeah," Hugh agrees with a heavy sigh. "That's one way to put it." Donnie reaches into his wallet, producing a $20 bill. "Well, you shouldn't be spending the nights outdoors. You'll freeze to death, man." He rolls the bill into a pack of cigarettes, handing it to Hugh. "Wish I could do more, but at least you can buy yourself an extra layer at the thrift store." Hugh takes his gift, almost muttering a thanks. "Take care, Hugh," Donnie says, before turning towards the restaurant and disappearing inside. Exiting a nearby liquor store with a black plastic bag in hand, Hugh stows it away, pulling out a headlamp from his pack with a grin. Whistling a tune, he sets off into the fading daylight. "I'll keep warm the old-fashioned way." "Yeah, buddy!" The abandoned elementary school loomed eerily in the night, its broken windows casting long shadows across the overgrown grounds. Hugh approaches, his headlamp cutting through the pitch black, every breath hanging in the frigid air like wisps of smoke. Entering the school, Hugh makes his way down the main hall, the cold wind rattling the old building as it seeps through the cracks. He stumbles over his own feet, collapsing onto the hard floor in a drunken stupor. Clutching an empty bottle of whiskey, he snores loudly, the sound echoing through the desolate corridors. In the vast liminal space, something stirs. With each snore from Hugh, it creeps closer, freezing whenever he falls silent. Suddenly, a large rat scurries across him, prompting him to wake with a start. "Goddamn rodents!" Hugh mutters, hurling his bottle into the darkness. Fumbling with his headlamp, he illuminates the room, revealing graffiti-covered walls and scattered debris. As he scans the area, his gaze falls upon a strange sight, a pale hand dangling from around a corner. "What in the hell?" Hugh mutters, edging closer to investigate. The hand twitches unnaturally before vanishing. Hugh, unsteady on his feet, stumbles towards the hallway, the laughter of a child echoing from the shadows. In the dimly lit corridor, his headlamp shines on the decaying walls. Suddenly he freezes. Standing before him is a child, clad in an oversized gray hoodie, his eyes pitch-black orbs that seem to pierce through the darkness. "Damn, you smell worse than I do," Hugh exclaims, covering his nose against the foul odor emanating from the child. The child remains motionless, his unblinking gaze fixed upon Hugh. "What are you doing?" Hugh demands, his voice trembling with fear. The child's lips curl into a forced smile, revealing blackened teeth. "I'm thirsty. Do you have anything to drink?" Hugh recoils, his hand shaking uncontrollably at his side. "Nothing I can give you. Do you live around here, kid?" The child inches forward, his movements stiff and unnatural. Hugh steps back, feeling a sense of unease creeping over him. "I'm lost. Can you help me find my mom?" the child asked. "Sure, I can help. Are your parents around here somewhere?" Hugh says, his voice wavering. The child hesitates, his eyes glinting in the dim light. "My father isn't. I haven't seen him in ages." A dense fog fills the hallway, swirling around Hugh. "Yeah? That's a real shame," Hugh mutters, taking another step back. "My father cast me out into the desert, much like your father did unto you." The child's features contort and shift, his voice taking on an otherworldly tone. "You're still searching for him, aren't you? All these years after his death, I know where he is. Want me to show you?" Hugh's eyes widened in horror, his mind reeling with fear and disbelief. "What are you?" The child's grin stretches, revealing rows of sharp, jagged teeth. "I'm a lost child. Now help me. You promised you would." With a sudden surge of adrenaline, Hugh turns and bolts for the exit, his heart pounding in his chest. But as he reaches the door, he stops, his blood running cold. The child stands on the lawn outside, bathed in the pale light of the moon, his teeth bared in a primal display of aggression. In an instant, he lunges forward, his form twisting as his teeth tear into Hugh with savage ferocity. Hugh falls and gurgles as the child's jaw clamps around his neck, releasing an arterial spray on the wall. Within seconds, Hugh stops kicking. The child stands and grabs his lifeless leg, dragging him with ease back into the abandoned school as the door slams shut behind them, leaving only silence in its wake. The day crept in with a somber gray hue seeping through the thin curtains of Donnie's room. In the peaceful embrace of sleep, Donnie lay undisturbed, his faithful companion Goonbug curled up beside his bed on the floor. But the tranquility was short-lived as muffled screams from the other room shattered the calm, followed by a jarring clang that abruptly pulled Donnie from his slumber. "What now?" Donnie's eyes snap open, wide awake and alert as he sits up in bed, his senses instantly on edge. He glances at Goondog, seeking reassurance. "You got my back, boy?" Donnie murmurs, a silent plea for support, to which the goon responds with a brief lift of his head before settling back down. Leaving the comfort of his room, Donnie steps into the cluttered kitchen of his single-wide trailer. There, he finds Anthony, his roommate, in a heated exchange on his cell phone, his anger palpable. "Listen, Tabitha, there's no one here. It's just me and Donnie as per usual. Are you crazy?" Anthony's voice echoes off the walls, his frustration reaching a boiling point. "Yeah, you're right. I have a bunch of girls in my room. They're dogpiled in my closet." Unperturbed by Anthony's outburst, Donnie navigates past his raging roommate and opens the refrigerator, retrieving a container of beans. Anthony's tirade continues, his fury escalating with each passing moment. "I told you, if you don't believe me, then come over and see. Are you stupid?" "Then why do you keep asking me the same question?" He hangs up the phone, collapsing back into his seat near the window. As Donnie calmly preps his meal, Anthony's anger seems to dissipate, replaced by a weary resignation. He sinks into a chair at the kitchen table, his breathing gradually slowing as he sought solace in the quiet of the room. Grabbing a near-empty bottle of vodka, he drinks. "Don't you think you've had enough for one day?" Donnie's voice is calm. Anthony sighs. "I swear, I just need to be single for a while. No crazy old lady always hassling me. On my back! Accusing me of cheating. Just need to be free, get my mind up, get high on mushrooms, you know?" The microwave beeps. Anthony, seemingly unfazed, produces a bottle of beer as if by magic, offering it to Donnie with a grin. "Time for 40s!" "Might as well, right?" Donnie accepts the beer with a shrug, resigned to the routine of their daily lives. "Yeah, buddy, get down with the quickness," Anthony exclaims. "I'm taking a lot of L's this year, man," Donnie says, staring out the window to the drab and run-down trailer park. "It's hard to find direction out here. New Mexico is a beautiful fantasy and an ugly reality." Donnie prepares for another day at work. As he makes his way to the front door with his dish apron in hand, he finds Anthony face down on the floor, passed out, and surrounded by M&Ms. As the sun moves through the sky, Anthony's phone goes off with a boxing bell ringtone. He groggily pushes himself up and answers. "You? What? Yeah? I'm sorry too. Sure, okay, I'll drop by. Love you. See you in a few, babe." He hangs up the phone and staggers into his room. A moment later, he emerges in a baseball jersey and carrying a bat. He exits the house. Anthony whistles a jaunty tune as he wanders down the dreary street, his footsteps resonating against the dilapidated buildings. His eyes drift past the desolation until they settle on the tunnels, surrounded by dead weeds, beckoning to him like a siren's call. With purposeful strides, he makes his way towards them, the ominous entrance drawing him in like a moth to flame. Crouching low, Ant enters. The air is thick with an acrid scent, assaulting his nostrils as he ventures further into the darkness. "Hello?" His voice reverberates off the damp walls, a feeble attempt to break the eerie silence that envelops him. In the distance, a short humanoid silhouette catches his eye. He stops in his tracks, his heart pounding in his chest as he observes with trepidation. "Hi, what are you doing here?" A child's voice echoes through the tunnel, its tone unnervingly cheerful. "Shortcut, what are you doing here?" Ant replies, tinged with unease as he eyes the mysterious figure warily. The silhouette rises, its movements fluid yet unsettling. Anthony's breath gets caught in his throat as he takes a step back, his instincts screaming at him to flee. "I live here now. Do you have a phone? I need to call my mother," the child says. "Your mother?" His voice trembles. "Yes. I just need your phone, mister. Will you please help me?" The child pleads with an underlying sense of menace. With a surge of panic, Anthony turns and retreats. "Sorry, kid. Find someone who cares," he calls over his shoulder. "Nobody cares. Caring is the shortest path to pain after all." The child's voice echoes behind him. As he reaches the mouth of the tunnel, his head scrapes the ceiling. He stumbles backwards. "Stay back!" His voice cracks, eyes full of fear. The child continues to advance, its movement slow and deliberate as it closes in, its shadowy eyes gleaming in the dim light. "Are you afraid of me? You think I'll bite?" the child taunts. "I warned you to stay back, or I'll go southpaw and knock your head out of the park." Anthony brandishes his bat. The child shows no signs of backing down, its gaze unwavering as it continues to advance. "You coward! Afraid of a child? The one you should really be fearing is my father. Your old man! I'll bash him up too!" With a final burst of adrenaline, Anthony scrambles to his feet and sprints out the tunnel, his heart pounding in his chest as he races towards the safety of the sun. As he emerges into the fading light of day, he looks back at the tunnel's maw, his breath coming in ragged gasps. The child is nowhere to be seen, its presence nothing more than a haunting memory, until a voice resonates out. "If you find no meaning in your life, then why do you fear losing it?" the child says. Anthony yells his response. "What in the freaking hell is wrong with you? Look in a mirror lately. No wonder your parents ditched you." As he retreats down the road, he can hear the child calling. "When I visit your home this evening, you must invite me in. You'll be better off for it." Anthony exits the liquor store, a black bag clutched tightly in his hand, his mind frantic with thoughts of the encounter, his footsteps quickening as he walks. "Yeah, my life's going fine." His words are laced with bitterness. "Met a damn demon child in the bum tunnel. Got a crazy-ass girl." Anthony continues on his way, the events of the day weighing on his mind as he disappears into the fading light of dusk.